Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into Maxwell Maltz's Psycho-Cybernetics. We're going right to the source, key excerpts from the book.
That's the best way to do it.
To see what we can unlock.
Yeah.
And how we can apply this to our lives for some serious personal growth.
I think one of the most fascinating things about Psycho-Cybernetics is that kind of brings together this idea of psychology and cybernetics.
Right.
This whole system of self-regulation to understand how our minds work.
Yeah, and one of the things that really jumped out at me is this concept of the self-image, a mental picture that we have of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And Maltz argues it's way more powerful than we realize. We essentially act like the person we believe we are.
Yes.
And this goes for our actions, our feelings, even our abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever thought about a time when a belief that you had about yourself actually held you back?
Oh, yeah.
How did that actually play out in your life?
Well, I think we all have. You know, Maltz uses a lot of stories from his practice as a plastic surgeon.
Right.
And he talks about this boy with large ears.
Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah, who was bullied.
Yeah.
Ridiculed, called a moron.
Yeah.
After he had surgery to correct his ears.
Mm-hmm.
The boy's behavior and self-perception totally changed.
180. Yeah.
Yeah, completely transformed.
Yeah, and what I thought was really interesting about that story is that Maltz didn't just say, oh, well, it was the physical change.
Exactly.
It was the root of that negative self-image.
Right,
The insecurity about the ears being addressed.
Totally.
I mean, think about it. What are some beliefs that we're holding on to be holding us back?
The question.
Yeah, right.
It is.
And that leads us to this other big idea in the book, which is the success mechanism.
Yes.
This is fascinating. This innate drive within us that's constantly working towards our well-being. Yeah, I mean, how does that even work?
It's like having this inner GPS guiding us towards our goals and aspirations.
Okay.
But here's the catch.
Right.
It's directly tied to our self-image.
Okay.
Think of it like a self-guided torpedo.
Okay.
You need a clear target for it to actually work effectively.
Oh, interesting.
And a positive self-image gives the success mechanism that target,
I see.
that clarity.
So a positive self-image, like you said, allows it to work.
Yeah.
A negative one throws the whole system off.
Totally throws it, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And Maltz uses this great analogy of a bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
Just like a bicycle maintains its balance when it's moving forward, we maintain our emotional equilibrium when we have those goals to strive for.
That makes sense.
When we're moving towards something. So if you're feeling lost or stuck, you got to ask yourself, what goals am I working towards?
Yeah, good question.
And how do they make me feel?
That bicycle analogy is a good one.
It is.
It really makes you think about just the importance of moving forward in life.
For sure.
So speaking of systems, how does Maltz tie all this to cybernetics?
Well, he suggests that our subconscious mind works like one of these self-regulating systems that you see in cybernetics. It uses feedback from our experiences and beliefs to guide us towards those goals that we set in our conscious mind.
So it's not necessarily two separate minds.
Right.
It's just the conscious sets the goals and the subconscious figures out how to get us there.
Exactly.
And it uses this feedback loop.
Yeah, like a car's cruise control.
Right.
Constantly making adjustments to keep it at a steady speed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, what's even more interesting is that Maltz suggests that the subconscious mind could be tapping into a knowledge base that goes beyond our individual memories and experiences. He even points to things like telepathy and clairvoyance as evidence.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Makes you wonder just what the potential of our subconscious mind is.
Yeah, what we're capable of.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned Maltz drawing this parallel with hypnosis.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
Well, he uses it to demonstrate the power of belief.
Okay.
He argues that our beliefs, no matter where we get them from, can heavily influence our actions and behaviors.
Okay.
Just like a hypnotist's suggestions can influence someone who's been hypnotized.
Right.
Our deeply held beliefs really shape our reality.
I mean, we've all heard that saying.
We have.
Whether you think you can or you can't.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's right.
So it's like Maltz is taking that a step further. He tells that story of a businessman who struggled with public speaking because he was totally convinced he didn't have the right look to be successful at it.
He didn't look the part.
Yeah, and his limiting belief became a self-fulfilling prophecy. So he was letting that self-image just dictate his reality.
Absolutely.
This brings up such an important question.
Yeah.
What limiting beliefs are we holding on to that we don't even know about?
We're not even aware of. Could be from past experiences, things people have told us, society.
That's true.
That are preventing us from achieving what we want.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It is.
It makes you really reflect on that.
It does.
And, that leads us to the next challenge that Maltz addresses, which is overcoming these negative feelings that we all have.
We all experience them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do we deal with these negative feelings when they inevitably pop up?
Well, Maltz suggests that these negative feelings often stem from what he calls over-response.
Okay.
It's like an exaggerated reaction, a knee-jerk reaction to something we perceive as a threat.
Okay.
Like our internal alarm system going off when there's no real danger.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like when you overreact to something so small, and later you think, why did I do that?
Exactly.
Why did I let that bother me?
It's not the event itself. It's our reaction to it that throws us off.
That really gets to you.
And Maltz argues that a key to overcoming these negative feelings is learning to relax.
Okay.
He calls it our built-in tranquilizer.
I like that.
It creates this sort of psychic barrier between us and whatever's disturbing us.
So it's like taking that step back.
Yes.
Before you react.
Yes.
Just taking a moment.
Create that space to detach a little bit from the emotional intensity.
Right, so you can respond.
And choose a more constructive way to respond.
Instead of just reacting.
Rather than just reacting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He uses this really interesting analogy of Old Faithful.
Old Faithful geyser?
The geyser. It erupts periodically.
Yeah.
It releases all that built-up pressure. And so instead of us, bottling up our emotions, maybe we can learn to blow off steam harmlessly.
Like Old Faithful.
Like Old Faithful.
I see. Right.
That's a good analogy.
And he suggests things like physical exercise.
Oh, yeah.
To release pent-up energy. Creative outlets.
Yeah.
Like writing, art, music.
Right.
To channel those negative emotions into something positive.
I like, those are some really
actionable tips.
Yeah, really practical takeaways there. Yeah. It's a good reminder that it's an ongoing practice.
It is.
You have to keep at it.
You do.
Right.
Keep working that muscle.
One thing that I thought was really interesting is this idea of emotional scars.
Oh, yeah.
This really resonated with me.
It's so relatable.
Can you explain a little bit more about what he means by that?
Well, he's referring to the lingering effects of past hurts and failures.
Right.
It's like the baggage that we all carry around with us.
It's hard to let go of.
It is.
Sometimes.
And he compares it to physical scars.
Like just as a physical scar creates that protective shell over a wound.
Right.
Emotional scars can make us guarded.
Yeah.
Afraid to open up.
You got to build up those walls.
We build up those walls.
To protect yourself.
To protect ourselves.
From getting hurt again.
Exactly.
But then that prevents you from...
Right. And he uses a really poignant example of juvenile delinquents.
Okay.
He observed that they often have this tough exterior.
Okay.
It's a way of protecting themselves from further hurt and rejection.
Right.
But that defensiveness prevents them
from making those connections.
From forming those genuine connections that they really crave.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It is.
And this is where he introduces the concept of forgiveness.
Yes.
And I love this.
It's powerful.
He describes it as a scalpel.
Yes.
That can remove those emotional scars.
It can help us heal.
Yeah. And it's not about condoning what happened.
No.
Or letting the other person off the hook.
It's not about that.
It's about letting go.
It's about releasing
of that negativity.
Those negative emotions that are holding us back.
Holding you back.
Weighing us down.
That baggage.
The baggage.
Yeah.
He suggests, imagine writing a letter.
Oh, yeah.
To the person who hurt you.
I've heard of that.
Pouring out all your feelings.
Yeah.
But not sending it.
Yeah.
It's a way to start letting go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful image.
It is.
I like
it. shifts the focus from the other person to our own internal healing.
Yeah, it really makes you think about what emotional scars you might have.
Right.
And how forgiveness could be the key to breaking free.
Absolutely.
Now, Maltz keeps coming back to this idea of goals in action.
He does.
It seems to be really at the heart of his philosophy.
It is. He emphasizes having that sense of direction and purpose in life.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is. And he uses this great acronym.
I love acronyms.
I know you do.
Break it down for us.
Success.
To highlight the key traits of a successful personality.
Okay, let's hear it.
So S stands for sense of direction.
Okay. Having that clear path.
Having those goals and knowing how to achieve them.
Yeah.
U is for understanding.
Okay.
This is about seeking knowledge.
Okay.
Gathering information.
So you can make informed decisions.
To make those informed decisions.
Right.
So you're equipped to navigate that journey.
Okay, I like that.
C.
All right, C.
Stands for courage.
Okay.
It's the willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
Right.
Take risks.
You got to take risks.
Face those challenges.
Yeah. And C also stands for compassion.
Yes.
Which is important too.
Showing kindness and empathy.
Yeah.
Not just to others.
To yourself too.
But also to ourselves.
Yeah.
We are all works in progress.
That's right.
Self-compassion is key.
It is?
And then we have E.
Okay.
For esteem.
Okay.
This is recognizing our own worth and value. Yeah, sometimes that's hard to do.
It can be.
Yeah.
We all have strengths and contributions to make.
We do. And finally, last but not least,
self-confidence and self-acceptance.
There we go.
Believing in our abilities.
Yeah.
Trusting our judgment, embracing ourselves, imperfections and all.
Absolutely.
So that's success.
I love it.
Yeah.
But you know, Maltz doesn't just leave us.
He doesn't.
With these qualities to admire from afar.
He wants us to take action.
He wants us to take action.
Even when we're afraid.
Yeah, even when we're unsure.
Or unsure, exactly.
Remember that guided torpedo analogy?
Yes.
Right.
Making those corrections along the way.
That's us.
That's us.
We're constantly course correcting.
We are.
To get to where we need to go.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I like that.
We can learn and adjust as we go.
It's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about being in motion.
Exactly.
So if you're feeling hesitant about pursuing something, start somewhere.
Even with a small goal.
Take that first step and you build from there. Now I want to talk about the power of imagination.
Oh, yes.
Because this is something...
It's fascinating.
I'm so fascinated by this.
It is.
This idea that we can use our minds...
to shape our reality.
To shape our reality.
Yes.
Maltz really believes in this.
He does. He believes that by vividly imagining ourselves acting and feeling the way we want to be, we can actually create new neural pathways in our brains.
Really?
It's like a mental rehearsal.
Oh, wow.
For success.
So you're getting your mind ready.
You're priming your mind.
For what you want it to do.
And he tells this great story of Les Giblin.
Okay.
Who used mental imagery.
Yeah.
And this winning feeling to become a successful lecturer and author.
So it's not just some...
It's not just some esoteric practice.
Yeah. Woo-woo thing.
It's a practical...
It gets real-world results.
It does.
What kind of exercises does he recommend?
Well, he suggests practicing dry runs in your imagination.
Okay.
Picture yourself.
Like a visualization.
Yeah, successfully navigating those challenging situations.
Oh, okay.
Visualize yourself acing that presentation, having that difficult conversation.
Got it.
Another technique is spend a few minutes each day.
Yeah.
Visualizing yourself achieving a specific goal.
Okay.
And really feeling those emotions.
Feeling those emotions.
It's associated with that success.
It's like you're
embodying it.
Embodying it, yeah.
You're living it.
Almost like creating that mental blueprint.
Yes.
Training your mind.
Training your mind.
And your emotions.
For what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
It's like feeding your mind the right information.
The right input.
Yeah.
The right images.
The right feelings.
The right feeling.
And a simple way to reinforce this
is to keep a journal.
Keeping a journal. Write down those goals.
Okay.
Track your progress and document those insights.
I like that. Psycho-Cybernetics is like this toolbox for the mind.
It is.
It's packed with advice and technique. If we had to sum up like the core message of the book, what would it be?
I think it's this empowering idea that we have so much more power to change our lives.
Than we think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
By changing our self-image and tapping into that success mechanism, we can achieve incredible things.
It reminds me of how Maltz talks about the subconscious mind. He doesn't see it as this separate thing.
No.
It's a mechanism that's working towards our goals.
Exactly.
So we're not fighting against it.
We're working with it.
Yeah, we're working with it.
Aligning our conscious goals with that subconscious power.
And using those tools like mental imagery, self-talk,
all of that
to make it happen.
We're
giving our minds the right input, the right images, feelings to create the reality that we want.
And what's great is those small wins can be huge.
They build momentum.
They do.
They reinforce that positive self-image.
Exactly.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into psycho-cybernetics.
It has been.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of how my mind works.
Me too.
And the power that I have to shape my own life.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
A thought from Maltz.
Okay.
He asks, If you could rewrite the script of your life, what would the next chapter hold?
It's a journey of self-discovery that's worth taking. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.